I think we're approaching a golden age of first-person shooter games, or rather, I think we're already in it. Actually, I should rephrase, I think we're in a golden age of online shooters, because while I can talk for actual days about how Dusk blew me away this year, or how Doom seriously raised the bar for the franchise and id Software, unfortunately, I have to say I don't see anything like those games becoming a frequent releaser. In full disclosure, I'm not talking about how for some reason there has to be a new Call of Duty every year. I'm more saying that the games will be more memorable and more recognized are not those kinds of games. And that's not to say either that Doom isn't important, because it most certainly is, but that kind of run-and-gun linear-based game is not what I'm talking about in this case. Go to Twitch right now. I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar that one of three things is the most played game right now. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, PlayerUnknown's Battleground, or Overwatch. Those are all super popular games, all of which are first-person shooters. Except PUBG, kinda, but it seems that they're trying to push more and more for their first-person shooter mode. All those games are super popular among all age groups. I understand why, too. And you don't have to take it from me. Look up some of the numbers for these games that I'm bringing up. While CSGO has sold 33 million copies, admittedly their player base is dropping significantly in recent history. But of course those players have to go somewhere, bringing me to say that on August 28th, roughly a month ago, SteamSty posted on Twitter that 55% of PUBG owners are also CSGO players. Those players used to play CSGO 50% more than an average person, now they play 30% less. Which translated means that the majority of CSGO players are now spending less time on Bomb Site B and more time desperately trying to take school. Speaking of Battlegrounds, while it's too early to say if PUBG is going to stay on top in the coming years, I can definitely say that while it's here, it's really making an impact. On top of being extremely fun and raking in millions of dollars every day through sales figures, streamers, and consistent annoying tweets about how the servers are down, PUBG, however, is getting a large amount of competition from Fortnite right now, which is awesome because both games are going to start trying to be the best, which can only mean good things for the players. That also means that Battle Royale isn't a fad and has rather become a genre now, which in my opinion is awesome to hear because I've had a ton of fun with it in the past couple months. Now, I think it's time I talked about my opinion with the elephant in the room with these first-person shooter games. Something a lot of these games have, and something that is becoming an increasing trend, is loot boxes. I should say that this is entirely my own opinion. I am extremely open to counter-arguments on this topic, but it's easy to think that loot boxes are bad because we see article after article every day about how these things are the spawn of Satan and they're absolutely the worst. But in my opinion, I think they're a great game supporting the game you love. I realize that you can make an argument that the servers don't really cost that much and they can host them with the value of the game, but to have people consistently working to improve the game and hosting esports events, I think loot boxes are a great way of making sure that the games that you love stay alive and active. However, I should say that I stopped supporting this business practice when it actually is influencing the outcome of matches, because it's important to remember that a lot of these shooters are indeed competitive, but in all honesty, I think it's been a problem that's been mainly avoided. Moving on, something that fascinates me so much about these games is the community behind them. While they're big and overcrowded, there's so many different people, so many different personalities like content creators, pro players, artists, who all show love and appreciation for the games that they love with such bliss. It's really quite beautiful to see so many people from so many different places gathered around such a silly thing, and yet they're all enjoying doing it. I think it's especially safe to say that without these communities, the game would certainly not be where they are today. It really hurts me when I see companies not supporting these communities, and sometimes trying their best to get rid of them. It's been proven time and time again that this is what's best for games, for the communities to engage with each other and communicate about something they all love and enjoy doing. Because in the end, that's what keeps these games alive, the community. To me, I think it's so cool that streamers brought PUBG where it is today, and the amazingly active Overwatch community, and a Counter-Strike subreddit that keeps these games alive. And I know that there's more games like that. I'm not mentioning Fortnite, Destiny, Call of Duty. I realize these games are equally important and equally enjoyable. These games that I'm talking about are just what comes to mind. I was discussing this video with a friend of mine, and he made a counter-argument against the overpopulation of first-person shooters and how so many different companies are striving to become the next Call of Duty or the next Counter-Strike, and it's resulted in a ton of bad, unfinished games being made. I completely agree, this needs to stop, but I also feel like I should defend big games that also have issues. What separates, for example, Counter-Strike from, Critical Ops is that Critical Ops is nothing more than a cash grab. And while it may seem sometimes with a sudden nerf or a new gun or a tweet about servers down just makes it look like the devs are in it for the money, I can safely say the devs really do care about the games and keeping them alive. I think it's important to recognize this consistent phenomenon because this is a golden age of FPS games and it might be the last time we ever see it. With that said, if you haven't played any of these games, I 100% you at least check them out or watch a streamer play it for a bit. I hope that if you watch a streamer, they sell you on it and you give it a shot because all these games are works of art and definitely deserve your time.